She called me and said, Philip, can you come over? Yeah, sure, I come over. The whole family was there. Some of them were crying. My mom was crying like crazy and said, Philip, can you see all of these people are getting sad if you died from an early age? And listen, man, seeing my mom cry like that changed everything for me. Everything.
Welcome to the Freedom Point Real Estate Podcast, where we talk about creating more time freedom through passive real estate investing. Passive investing in real estate challenges conventional investment wisdom. We are passionate about learning and sharing resources with others who are ready to transform their investing mindset. Quick disclaimer as always, I am not a CPA, I am not an attorney or a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, not telling you or anyone else what to do. The views and opinions expressed in these podcasts are provided for education and informational purposes only and are not necessarily the views of my employer. I'm glad you're here. Now let's dig in. All right, welcome back, Freedom Point podcast listeners. Thank you again for jumping into another episode of the Freedom Point. I'm so glad you're here with us again today. I've got another amazing guest. All right, guys, I've got Philip JOHANSEN, aka Hustle Phil. Hustle Phil, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hustle Phil is a self-made entrepreneur who went from working as a plumber in Denmark to building a multi-million-dollar affiliate marketing business. He has over 1.4 million followers and 15,000 students worldwide. Hustle Phil teaches people how to leverage social media and create financial freedom. For those that are listening to my podcast here and have been faithful followers of ours, I've not ever had somebody on the show that talks specifically about what you're good at, gifted at, and what you really train and teach others to do. So Hustle Phil, if you don't mind, maybe give our audience a little bit more information about yourself, your journey, what you're focused on today, etc.
Yeah, sure, man. So, bro, there's so much to tell, so much happened on this journey here, right? So, bro, it all started with a little kid with a big dream and a big goal, like many others out there, I assume. I remember I told my mom and dad I wanted to be a Formula One driver when I was a little kid. I wanted to be the next Michael Schumacher, right? And my mom and dad said, yeah, it's fine. It's okay, Philip. It's okay. It's okay to dream. It's okay to dream big. And then I went into school and I wanted to still be a Formula One driver, but my mom and dad was like, I wouldn't say broke, but like the average person family back home in Denmark, right? And I had to go to go-kart in order to race my way to the top or then to Formula One at some point, but they couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford to make me go to go-kart because that was pretty expensive. So already at a little age, like many other people, my dreams were shattered, right? And my teachers also told me that Philip, you're never gonna ascend to anything. You got ADHD. You got too big dreams, big goals, and you have no idea how to get there. And like all society, just try to keep you down all the way and just keep you trapped, right? And then I remember I graduated high school, decent grade, not really, a little below average or something like that, right? And then I didn't know what to do with because I still had big dreams and big goals, but everyone told me it can't be done. It can't be done, Philip. Just settle for being average. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. So then I remember my dad was a plumber. Then I thought, okay, I'm gonna be a plumber too. Then I can help my dad out, maybe, or something like that. So I went to plumbing school and I got a pretty good grade actually because then I was active and could use my hands and I could do something with all of my energy because I had a ton of energy, excuse my language. And then I remember when I used to work as a plumber, I had a big gig in the capital, Copenhagen, and I lived in a small city called Slagelse, and I was commuting back and forth to work for 1 to 2 hours, sitting in traffic jams. And I remember I was sitting around and looking at everybody else, and I was like, they are just walking around like zombies. There's no life in them. They're just sitting there tired of their life, depressed. And I was sitting there tired and depressed. And I thought, like, is this gonna be the rest of my life for 40 years? And that drove me into a big depression. I started doing a lot of drugs. I started doing steroids. I started going to parties, and all of those three things was not a very good combination. So it actually got so bad. One day I were with my girlfriend, and I just collapsed on the way upstairs. And I remember I was yelling to my girlfriend, "Baby, call the ambulance. Something's wrong. Call the ambulance. Something is wrong." And she was running around like a headless chicken and didn't know where to go. And I was like, "Where is the keys to the car? I'm driving to the hospital." So I grabbed the keys, drove to the hospital. The doctor took a bunch of tests, and then he came in like 2 hours later, and he said, "Philip, what are you doing?" "What do you mean, man? I'm working. What are you doing?" Then he said, "No, like, what are you taking?" Then I said, like, everything to numb my pain. I did, because I was like depressed. I didn't know what to do with my life. I was working for all of the big guys with Porsches, Lambos. They showed up in slippers at 2 in the afternoon, where all of us was covered in shit and oil and dirt. Right? I was depressed because I wanted some of that. And then he said, "Philip, if you don't stop now, you're not gonna survive for 2 more years. You are 27 years old, and your kidney number is higher than a cancer patient." And I was like, I didn't care. "Okay, give me some morphine." I said, "It hurts, give me some morphine." He said, "I'm not giving you any morphine, Philip, because then you're going to get hooked on that too." So he gave me some Panadol. And then I called my friend, "Hey, man, you got some drugs? You got beer? Come pick me up from the hospital." Then he come. We went out partying for 2 days. I didn't care what the F I was doing with my life. But then my mom figured out. She found out I went to the hospital. I don't know how, but she did. So she called all of my people, all of my family together, and she called me and said, "Philip, can you come over?" "Yeah, sure, I come over." The whole family was there. Some of them were crying. My mom was crying like crazy and said, "Philip, can you see all of these people are getting sad if you died from an early age?" And listen, man, seeing my mom cry like that changed everything for me. Everything. So I went online because I wanted to give my family everything from probably saving me from dying in an early age. And I went online on Google, how to make money online, how to make money online. And I fell into a big rabbit hole of people teaching drop shipping, Amazon FBA, YouTube automation, trading, you name it. I tried everything. I tried selling eyelashes as a plumber, right? I tried everything. And I ended up losing everything in this journey here. My girlfriend, my car, went into $20,000 of debt. I had to move into a basement apartment that was no higher than this to the ceiling. And I was looking around in the basement, and the only thing I had was a bed, a computer, and an internet connection at that point. 28 years old, I had nothing to my name. And I was looking around and thought, if my mom and dad sees me now, they would be embarrassed of what I have done with my life. So either, for all of the listeners out there, either you can blame everyone else for the situation you are in or the bad mistakes that you did, or you can take full responsibility for it. So I decided to take full responsibility. I stopped answering people that just wanted to drink, that just wanted to take drugs, that just want to do nothing with their life, do stupid, and just go all in on this thing here. But I had no more money. I lost all of my money. So I went to my mom. I went to my mom and asked my mom for $1,500, to buy mentorship, And then she asked me, "Philip, what is different this time than all of the others time?" Then I told her, "Mom, this time I got it. This time I'm all in. I'm all in this time. I'm going to make it work. And I promise you, I'm going to pay you back 1,000 times. I promise you." So now I promised my mom I had to do it. So I went all in. When I went home from plumbing for 10 hours, I had to work 10-hour days, sometimes also Saturday and Sunday as a plumber. And then I went back home and worked on this thing here. And I only slept for like 3 or 4 hours every day. I was beaten working out as well. So I kept kind of sane in the process here. And within my first 30 days, I made $9,300. Within my first 6 months, I made $233,000. posting on social media, selling digital products as an affiliate marketer. Within my first 2 years, I made my first $1 million online. And within 2.5 years, almost 3 years, I made $25 million online. Retired my mom, bought her dream car, helped my dad out when he had cancer to pay his medical bills. My brother lost his job, was able to help him out, made some investments as well. So if I die in an early age, my mom and dad, my mom and brother, and my family can be a little bit secure, and I can pay them even when I'm not around anymore. Bought an $800,000 Lambo cash, moved it to the Palm in Dubai with private beach, infinity pool, and yeah, man, completely changed my life.
Also, Phil, it's amazing. Some of our story is a little bit similar, and some of it's not. I really appreciate you kind of unpacking, your childhood. I also, was, the child that had the ADHD, the poor test scores, the behavioral issues. But I always had dreams and goals, right? And those dreams and goals were bigger than life, right? And I think the important thing for the listening audience to understand is the reason why I was able to achieve my goals and dreams much the same way as you have is because you took action. And we all have a void to fill in life, right? And in your case, that void needed to largely be filled with a purpose and a passion, which you found. And really, for you, it likely became a direct byproduct of you just hit your breaking point and you were ready, to fill that void with something else in your life, and you found that passion. Is that resonating with you, Hustle Phil?
100%. 100%. I found a purpose. And before I had that purpose, I was literally just drifting around and didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to put all of my energy. I didn't know what I should do with my life. I had no dreams. I had no goals until that happened to me, where I found my family. I need to take care of my family. I want to help them out. And that kind of became the driving factor for me and my purpose.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about, making money online, because it's remarkable, your story, and what would you say are some of the biggest mistakes that people make when trying to make money online, and how can they avoid them?
So the biggest mistake I see people are doing is literally trying to be 100% unique and be the next Jeff Bezos. And that is one in a billion, right? And if you pay attention, and I used to pay attention when I also pay attention today, but when I live in the basement apartment, I was watching all of the motivational videos from Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozi, all of the big guys. And I found a pattern. They all said the same thing. Model what is proven to work for others and then make it a little bit better. They all said it. They all said it. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just find something that is already working for somebody else and model it. Do the same. Do it faster. Do it better. So the same with content, for example. Everyone want to be unique. Everyone want to make that a new font. And it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? The simplest way to start getting traction on social media is literally go into your industry, your niche. Like if you are a doctor or a lawyer, find 4 or 5 other lawyers on social media that are crushing it, have a lot of followers, have a lot of views. Find the ones that are performing the best, model it. What are they saying in the first 2 or 3 seconds? Say the same thing or kind of the same. What are they saying from 3 seconds to 25 seconds? Say kind of the same or your opinion on it. What kind of call to action do they have at the end of the video? Say the same. What are they linking to in the bio? Okay, that's a book a call or fill out a form or a website or a blog post or something like that. Do the same. They have probably done it for years. They have found the winning formula. Do the same. It's working for them. It will work for you too. So, so in short, people are simply just overcomplicating everything. They like to do that.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. And I agree with you. I know that when I've been interested to move in a specific direction in my life, I just benchmark what other people are doing and I learn from them, right? And it costs me nothing, right? Other than a little bit of my time to do some research and some due diligence, on what's been proven to be successful for others. I'd be kind of curious to know now, what are your top strategies for creating viral content on social media that actually converts to income?
So the strategy behind that is we still model other people's content. We model it. We find ideas from others that are crushing it, right? Because that is the most sure way for your content to also perform, right? So if they are saying something in the first 2 or 3 seconds of the video, we're kind of saying the same thing. But what we have seen is converting people into high ticket clients, into like high paying clients, is relatability and vulnerability and storytelling. Like your story, what brought you to this point of your life right now? What have you done? What have you been through? What have you tried? What is your losses, right? And what is your result now? Because people, they don't resonate with the result that you might have, but they resonate with all of you have been through on your journey. And then they will be like, oh my God, that is exactly just like me. If he went or she went from that to that, then I can do it too.
So I think what you're trying to say is it's important for people as they're crafting and creating content on social media that it's really authenticity, and transparency that's going to build trust with the audience. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, 100%. 100%, man.
So I know that, there's a lot of people, including those that may be listening to this episode, that really struggle with personal branding. What are the key elements of building a strong and profitable personal brand?
So again, it comes down to like storytelling, like, and then your core values. And there is a guy called Russell Brunson. You probably know that guy. He created Expert Secrets, a book, and he talks about the three core values. So people, they have three core values in majority of people. Some have more, some have less, but he recommended three. So to build a strong personal brand, you should have like three core values that makes you you. For me, it's like money slash business, it's family, and it's about being a man. That's like what I like to talk about on social media. Those three things. Russell Brunson talks about church and God, family, and funnels. That is like his three things. Grant Cardone, he's talking about real estate, money, business, and then a lot of family as well. So that's like his three things. So if you want to build a strong personal brand, you should find three core things that makes you you, and then you should rotate in between talking about these three core values on your stories, on YouTube, on in a 3 minute reel that you can make now on Instagram. They can be 3 minutes long now. You can also talk about them going live on social media. Lives, they are really good at building connection to the audience because it's not over edited. As you say, it becomes raw, it becomes real, and they like that. They really like that.
I love that. I love that. So I know that you've helped 15,000 students, and I know that you've got some A players and you've got some B players. What would you say is the most common trait amongst those who succeed as students versus those that struggle?
The one that actually go over and make some insane results and make like $500,000 their first year as 56 years old, never have a social media account before. That is one of the students we have. And she literally just listened and forgot everything she thought she knew about business and just listened, showed up on every live call, and posted 2 or 3 videos every single day. She literally just showed up. She was not arrogant. She just listened and she just showed up. And then I see the other ones that never make a sale online. They follow 3, 4, 5 different gurus telling them 4 or 5 different things. This guy tell you to post 5 times a day. This guy tell you just post 2 times a week. this is the kind of content you should make, and this is what you should say on social media. So they are stuck in information overload. And then they tend to do nothing. And then they are inconsistent, and they tend to chase the shiny object, right? So the people that just stick through it, focus 100% focus on one thing until you make that one thing work. Then you can move on to the next thing. And those are the ones that tend to crush it.
Yeah, it makes total sense to me. It's amazing what a little bit of clarity and consistency can do. How do you balance? This is a question that I oftentimes, get. How do you balance organic traffic strategies, right? Organic content creation, organic outreach with paid ads? And when should someone consider, using paid ads?
So, man, I actually never use the paid advertising like you think. I pretty much did it through organic marketing and then some simple retargeting ads. That's it. I never did cold traffic from advertising, from paid advertising. Never.
It's remarkable. And so for listeners that are listening to this right now, you don't actually have to spend anything to create a personal brand or enhance, your brand using social media outreach. I really think that's a key lesson to take away.
I'm Zach Haptonstall, CEO and co-founder of Rise 48 Equity. Our goal is to help you protect and grow your wealth by investing in large multifamily apartment buildings. We do all the work as far as sourcing these large apartment buildings from the brokers, doing all of the on-site management with our vertically integrated property management company, doing all the renovations with our vertically integrated construction company. We completely rebrand the exteriors. We will renovate the interiors to our full platinum level scope, which increases the value of the asset to get that profit margin for the investor. If you'd like to learn about how you can partner with us on these exciting opportunities, and go to our website and set up a call with our team.
What would you say, Hustle Phil, is one misconception about making money online that you wish more people understood?
So social media is very good at ruining people if you go down the rabbit hole, right? And so people think views is equal money. And that is the biggest misconception ever. You barely make any money with views, and you need tens of millions of views if you want just to make like $100 or something like that. It's nothing. And I thought in the beginning myself that nobody's going to listen to me. I sound like a broken Arnold Schwarzenegger. I have tattoos. I have muscles. Nobody give a fuck about me. But I literally tried everything else to try to build a business online. So I just said, we try. So I listened to the guy, shared my story, people resonated with it, and people started buying from me. And I did it with a 16-year-old computer and a beat up Huawei smartphone when I started. And I made $500,000 on social media from my basement apartment as a beginner.
Yeah, and the key ingredient to all of that is you didn't just take action, Hustle Phil. You took massive action, and that's the main difference between those that make it and those that don't. So if you want to dominate the marketplace, the key takeaway or the key ingredient is you need to take daily massive action steps to get you there. And I'm sure that you failed a ton, right? You learned a lot over the years. And the only way that you were able to learn is by making mistakes. Am I right?
100%. I made 1,000 mistakes, but the thing is, you only need to get it right one time. So people, when they see successful people, they say, oh, they got lucky. Of course they got lucky. They tried 1,000 more times than you did. And you just need to hit it right one time to get lucky and then make it. But people are so focused, especially business owners, what I have seen. So I teach beginners, and I also take some business owners under my wing to teach this thing here. But what I see, especially business owners, they want everything perfect. They want everything perfect. People are 2 years to make a book, and they don't even know if people want to buy the book. Right? They want everything perfect. They want the funnel perfect. They want the offer perfect. They want every line of copywriting on their pages to be perfect. No, just put it out in the world. See if people want it or not. If they want it, then you make it better. That's it. Imperfect action is way better than perfect action.
That's right. Yep. and way better than no action. So I think your name needs an additional word. It's not hustle Phil, it's side hustle Phil. So I want to talk about the side hustle to side hustle Phil, if you don't mind. And the question is really, let's talk to that full-time, person out there. They've got a full-time job. Maybe their plate is already full. They don't have much bandwidth in their lives, but they want to start an online business on the side. What advice would you give, that individual out there that may not think that they have the time to build a business on the side in the online marketing space?
So the famous quote from Arnold Schwarzenegger, you have time, you make the time, right? I was working 10 hours days as a plumber, both Saturday and Friday. I made the time. I sacrificed a lot of time with friends and family and put my time into building a business. But you literally only have to do that for 1 or 2 years, and it can completely change your life if you do that, right? And the same with people saying, like, I don't got time to go to the gym. Of course you got time. Instead of laying on the couch because you are tired, you pull yourself together and go to the gym. You make the time. So people get it to work with 1 or 2 hours per day, building a business on the side in the beginning. But if you want to make like significant amount of money, like life-changing money, of course you need to put in more work than 2 hours a day into it, of course. But everyone starts somewhere. So when you start to make it work with 1, 2, 3 hours per day, then you start making more money than your 9 to 5. Then you quit your 9 to 5 and put those hours that you work at 9 to 5 into the side hustle, and then you grow that to something extraordinary. But then many people, they let go of the hours in the 9 to 5 and just be like, doop. And that's why they only make like 3 or 4K a month. Nothing significant, but with half of the work as a 9 to 5, don't get me wrong, right?
Yeah, it makes total sense. Everybody's got, enough bandwidth in their life. And if you don't think you do, start tracking the amount of time that you're spending scrolling through social media, right? Track the amount of time that you're spending, watching Netflix in the evenings and weekends. Track the amount of time that you're not focused on the highest and best activities, day to day, week in and week out. So I also think it's interesting. You kind of alluded to this, and that is, this concept of motivation, right? I don't think that people are necessarily genuinely motivated all the time. But what happens is once they start doing the thing, it then becomes motivating, right? So I think the important, takeaway here is if you're lacking motivation, maybe find motivation by starting to take those first couple of steps. Does that make sense?
Yes, so everyone can go and watch a YouTube video or a podcast like this and be fired up and motivated for like 30 minutes. And then the kid is screaming in the background, and then they lose all of the motivation. So trust me, when you make your first $1,000 online in your business or through social media or whatever you're doing, a paid advertising, then I can guarantee you get motivated to do it one more time, right? But it's about getting disciplined, because businesses, ups and downs, probably like it can go like super good 1 month, and then the other month, what is going on here, right? Agree? So it's about showing up and be disciplined to showing up. That's why I tell all of my students, hit the gym. Hit the gym for 30, 45 minutes every day. Make it like your duty, your responsibility to do it regardless of how you feel. I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care if you are busy. You just find the time to show up for 45 minutes at the gym, and that will build you the muscle of discipline that you just have to do it regardless of how you feel. And that is the main factor of people that make it and people that make it like super big. They just show up. They show up every day and just do the work, regardless if it's funny, if they're tired, if they are sick, if somebody died, they do it anyways.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that perspective as well, Phil. Is there maybe, and this has been just a remarkable conversation. I really appreciated it, and I've personally taken a ton of value, from you. would there be maybe one or two different ways that our listening audience can connect with you offline to learn more about what you're up to?
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram at HustlePhil or InstaKingPhil. Those two are my Instagram accounts. And then they can also find me on YouTube, of course.
That sounds good. Well, we will put those links in the show notes for the episode. Again, it's been a pleasure. Hustle Phil, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Of course. And listening audience, thank you again for jumping into another episode of The Freedom Point. We look forward to having you join us on the next episode.
Thank you for hanging out with us today and for listening to the Freedom Point podcast, powered by Starting Point Capital. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing said on this show should be considered financial advice. Before making any financial decision, please consult with a professional. This show is copyrighted by the Freedom Point podcast. Written permissions must be granted before syndication or rebroadcasting. If you're interested in connecting, you can find contact information at startingpointcapital.com.